as Ruth mentioned, I am a lesbian empty nester. I have 21-year-old twin boys. Yeah, and the funny thing is, I am just like any other mom. I just come home to a bag of dicks instead of just one. Variety is the spice of life, no? But it is true. You may also have picked up on the fact that I am actually biracial. I am 1/2 Japanese, 1/4 German, and 1/4 Swedish. I'm essentially like sashimi with a side of schnitzel, I am Asian, but I am just white enough to be aging poorly. It's sad. It's really sad. So earlier this month, my partner and I celebrated our 30th anniversary. Somebody put up with us for 3 decades. There must be an award out there somewhere. And if you were to meet Susan, and she happens to be right there, you have the opportunity to speak to her, you would find out that she is like the nicest person ever. I mean, Susan really doesn't have a mean bone in her body. Now, I am entirely made up of mean bones, like all of it. So we're a little bit of an odd couple. I would say we're an odd couple in another way as well. Susan is a very white lady. She's very white. But it's okay because Susan is what we in the gay community call a rice queen. Okay? So I'm going to translate that for you breeders in the audience. For you heteros, rice queen means she has an Asian fetish, okay? And, like really, let's keep this between us. I have a little bit of a colonizer kink. So it kind of worked out, you know what I mean? And then, I come home, and then we do like John Smith and Pocahontas, You think you own whatever land you land on. Where are my Disney adults? Okay, who can name, I got a question for you, who can name who voiced John Smith in the 1992 Disney classic Pocahontas?
Mel Gibson.
Right, Mel Sugar Tits Gibson! Ding, 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 ding. I don't know, is that typecasting? I mean, a white guy drags a Native American woman over to England, for God's sake? I don't know. And then the other kind of odd thing, or, whatever, like this is how life kind of unfolded. But at any rate, like Susan is all of the Sherwin-Williams paint chips of white. You know what I mean? She is Adobe, she is a wedding dress, she's, off-white, she is white, she is Episcopalian, that's the big one. She is very, very waspy. And then we have these, we have these 2 boys. Now, I heard somebody had elementary school kids in here. Does anybody else have kids in here? Just the one elementary school? Okay, so I'm just going to talk to you because I just want to let you know what horrors await. A few years ago, we started finding some random girls' clothing in my son's laundry. Now, as I mentioned, my partner and I have been together for 30 years. We are not thong lesbians, you know what I mean? So if I find a thong in the laundry, it doesn't belong to either one of us, and it really doesn't belong to either one of the boys either. So I'm so disappointed they're not gay. You have no idea. I tried everything. I took them to all the brunches. I made them watch RuPaul, and they're still straight as a goddamn board. Anyway, so my boys, they really love horror films. Halloween is coming up. I am kind of not the biggest horror fan, but I do like a vampire movie because vampires are hot, right? And then I thought, what would happen if I actually met a vampire, right? I have questions. If something bites a vampire, what happens? If a mosquito bites a vampire, does the vampire turn into a mosquito? Or does the mosquito turn into a vampire? Do people taste different based on their ethnicity? Am I fusion? Or, somebody has high cholesterol, do they taste like Alfredo sauce? I don't know. These are all things I have rolling around in my brain. And then the most important question I have for a vampire would be, do women vampires get their period? And is that like Christmas once a month? It's a thinker, it's a thinker. I can't tell you how many times I've done that joke and guys don't, poor little fellas, they don't get the joke, you know? Like, I'm gonna have to draw you a picture later or something. At any rate, and then like the other thing is like, do you guys remember in the 90s, there was the best vampire movie, it was called Bram Stoker's Dracula. Yes, and it had Winona Ryder and Gary Oldman in it. And Gary Oldman like had the hottest line in that movie. And he would gaze down at Winona Ryder, his lady love for eternity, and he'd go, I've crossed oceans of time for you. This used to hurt my feelings. Because in the 90s, I could not get bitches to go east of La Cienega for me. You know? It's really sad. And then the other thing is like Dracula has a type, right? It's always the same type. It's like some wisp of a girl, some fun-sized girl, you know, with like alabaster skin or whatever. Like, don't you guys think it like would make totally more sense for Dracula to come after somebody who looks like me? I mean, strictly from a blood volume standpoint, I am way more efficient. Like, why have a shot glass when a big gulp is standing right next to you? And I can guarantee the shot glass can outrun me. Like, easy case, right? So at any rate, and then, you know, like I am the equivalent of a vampire Costco run. And then Dracula would just drag me back to the castle. And he'd throw me in the dungeon, and he'd go, dudes, I've got a kegger. She's in the back. You just got to wrap it up by 6 a.m. So I think I'm going to end with this. Like, you know, we do a lot of comedy. There's a lot of young people involved with comedy. But if I see one more, like, young lady comedian get up and go, oh my God, I'm turning 30. I'm getting so old. It's not cute. Oh my God, I just want to go, boo fucking who, you know? Like, what is your plan, buttercup, you know? Die young and leave a, you know, good looking corpse? There's less of you assholes on the 101, I'm good with it. You know what I mean? Just living your dreams. And then, you know, everyone treats like aging like it's a catastrophe, like a tragedy. It's like, did you hear about Carol? I'm like, what? No, what happened to Carol? She had to start a GoFundMe. What for? Crepey skin.